1.1 Earth Day article, How to be an Environmental Advocate During COVID-19. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, which is a day to celebrate and advocate for the environment. The first Earth Day was in the United States on April 22, 1970, and involved 20 million people holding public demonstrations. Today, 193 countries celebrate Earth Day worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic, much of the world is confined to their homes to avoid contracting or spreading the disease. Yet even when you're at home, you can still protect and advocate for the environment. Read on to hear from scientists, waste management experts, and advocates on how to help. Join a digital strike or do citizen science. The Earth Day Network manages Earth Day events each year. Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, it had planned a number of cleanups and climate change demonstrations worldwide. With the pandemic happening, it has gone digital, transitioning its events to online discussions and live-streamed events. In addition, the organization is encouraging everyone to conduct citizen science with their Earth Challenge 2020 app, which you or someone in your family could download for your smartphone. Citizen science is when the general public volunteers to monitor and collect data that can be used in scientific research. The Earth Challenge 2020 app allows people to document the environmental conditions in their community. Other activists are encouraging people to make their voices heard on social media. Greta Thunberg, a 17-year-old climate activist, suggests becoming part of a digital strike by posting a photo on social media and using hashtags like digital strike and climate strike online. Reflect on the resources you use. Pandemic or not, people use resources like food, electricity, and heat to maintain daily life. And while it might seem like these habits are far removed from the natural world, in fact, our individual choices and actions as a society can impact the environment. Katie Lyons is a research scientist at the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta, Georgia. Normally, she's out in the oceans off the coast of California and Georgia, studying how pollutants are harming the sharks and rays. Yet, like the rest of us, she's staying at home and working from there to avoid spreading COVID-19. Lyons has seen the effects of pollution on wildlife firsthand. The sharks and rays she studies have livers that are contaminated with pollutants like DDT, a pesticide, and chemicals designed to make fabric fireproof. These chemicals were banned because of their harmful effects, but they remain in the environment. The sharks and rays get these pollutants in their bodies by eating other animals that are also contaminated. Then they pass it on to their offspring, and the cycle continues. Everything is tied together, she says. Lyons suggests reflecting on the resources you use and considering how you can get by with less. This might mean paying attention to the pesticides used on your foods or the chemicals that are in the things you buy. It could also mean paying attention to the power usage in your home, as fossil fuels like coal and gas are often burned to produce electricity and power cars, trucks, ships, and planes. When the fuel burns, it creates carbon dioxide that gets trapped in the atmosphere and warms the planet. By staying home, you are already riding in cars less and therefore using fewer fossil fuels. You can go even further by using less electricity at home, such as turning off the lights when you are not in the room or powering down electronics when they are not in use. It's the little things you can do, Lyons says, that contribute to helping the planet. Refine your recycling habits. There's about 8 million metric tons of plastic in the ocean, or the equivalent of 90 aircraft carriers, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. A lot of trash found on beaches is plastic we use every day. Bottles, grocery bags, takeout containers, food wrappers, and straws, to name a few. Cara Napolitano works at the Sims Municipal Recycling Facility in Brooklyn, New York. It's the largest recycling facility of its kind in the country and receives up to 1,000 tons of recyclables a day. That's about 200 school buses worth of recyclable paper, plastic, glass, and metal. As the education and outreach coordinator, Napolitano is a big advocate for recycling and helps organize field trips for about 6,000 students each year to tour the facility. And while field trips are on hold because of COVID-19, there are still things students can do from home. The first step to recycling is understanding that what can and cannot be recycled. What recyclables are accepted depends on where you are. Cities and towns have websites that list the kinds of items they accept. Know before you throw, she says. Napolitano is a big advocate for recycling, but advises everyone to do it correctly. This also means not throwing items in your recycling bins that cannot be recycled, such as plastic grocery bags. We call them tanglers, she says, because they can clog the machines and halt processing of materials. For other non-recyclable items, such as electronics, paint, or motor oil, Napolitano suggests looking for collection events in your city or region where you can drop these off. These events might be on hold because of COVID-19